Legacy and Progress Science and Tech in Marcos and Aquinos administration.
Ferdinand Emmanuel Itralin Marcos Sr. He was born in September 11, 1971 and died in September 28, 1989. He was the President of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986, and he was the first president to serve a second term. Did you know that during his term, the Philippines is the top 2 country next to Japan in terms of economic growth, where the peso-dollar exchange rate is equivalent to 3 pesos equals 1 USD, an era where the Philippines is one of the tigers of Asia a long time ago. During his first term, he had made progress in agriculture, industry, and education. Here are some of the achievements in 21 years service of Ferdinand Marcos. On October 19, 1979, Primary Health Letter of Instructions 949, the legal basis of PHC, was signed by President Ferdinand E. Marcos, adopted PHC as an approach towards design, development, and implementation of programs focusing on health development at community level here in the Philippines.
The National Kidney Foundation of the Philippines, created on January 16, 1981. It was created with a threefold mission of service, training, and research primarily for the benefit of the Filipino people afflicted with kidney and allied diseases in pursuance of the policy of the states to secure the well-being of the people by providing them with the specialized health and medical.
Philippine Children Medical Center. On August 10, 1979, the hospital known as Lungsod ng Kabataan was established through Presidential Decree 1631. It has the most comprehensive pediatric rehabilitation facility and the most extensive pediatric multi-specialty for inpatients, as well as for clinic service to outpatients and referrals. Lung Center of the Philippines, established through Presidential Decree No. 1823 on January 16, 1981, to provide the Filipino people state-of-the-art specialized care for lung and other chest diseases. During his term, he also made contribute in bridges like the Candaba Viaduct, Patapan Bridge, Biliran Bridge, and the Bunton Bridge. Cultural Center of the Philippines. The Cultural Center of the Philippines was created in 1966 with the purpose of promoting and preserving the best of Filipino arts and culture. Since then, the CCP has sought to embody the values of katotohanan, kagandahan, and kabutihan. Philippine International Intervention Center. On September 5, 1976, the PICC Asia's first intervention center was officially inaugurated when it hosted the 1976 IMF World Bank meeting. The CCP was established through Executive Order No. 30, Section 1966 by President Ferdinand Marcos. Although an independent institution of the Philippines government, it receives an annual subsidy and is placed under the National Commission for Culture and the Arts for purposes of policy coordination. President Marcos also wanted the Philippines to become an energy self-reliance. That's why in his regime, he completed 20 power plants. And here are some of those: the Agus 1 Hydroelectric Power Plant, the Agus 6 Hydroelectric Power Plant, the Agus 2 Hydroelectric Power Plant, the Agus 7 Hydroelectric Power Plant, Agus 5 Hydroelectric Power Plant, Bataan Nuclear Power Plant, Angat Hydroelectric Power Plant, and the Calaca Coal Power Plant. The lack of food production is evident before the time of Marcos, so he introduced the Green Revolution to his people to make the country food sufficient. Through the people's enthusiasm, the Marcos' great effort, the production of IR-8 rapidly spread in the Philippines. The Philippines exported $7 million worth of rice, and this was the first time that the Philippines became food sufficient in 1968. Corazon Aquino. Corazon Aquino's accession to the presidency marked the end of authoritarian rule in the Philippines. Aquino is the first female president of the Philippines and is still the only president of the Philippines to have never held any prior political position. During her regime, she made comprehensive agrarian reform law. Curry invented agrarian and land reform as the centerpiece of her administration's social legislative agenda. To provide landowners with equal income and opportunities, to empower landowners' beneficiaries to have equitable land ownership, to increase agricultural production and productivity, to employ more agricultural workers to end land ownership conflict. Democracy and the 1986 Constitution. On February 2, 1987, the Philippines Constitution was ratified by a countrywide plebiscite. It has remained unchanged since then. The Constitution established a Bill of Rights and a three-branch government consisting of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. Curry repealed the 1973 Constitution, which had been in effect during the martial law. In addition, she established the temporary 1986 Freedom Constitution by decree, pending ratification of a more formal and complete charter. After the People's Power Revolution in 1986, the Presidential Commission on Good Government was created by Cory Aquino shortly after she became president. PCGG is a Philippine quasi-judicial government squency whose goal is to recover the ill-gotten wealth of Ferdinand Marcos. Aquino issued an executive order freezing the Marcoses' assets in the Philippines and directing the PCGC to negotiate with the foreign countries for the repatriation of Marcos money held abroad, giving the PCGC diplomatic powers in addition to its quasi-judicial tasks. It was approved and enacted in February 1987 and crippled presidential power to declare martial law. So it proposed the creation of autonomous regions in the Cordilleras and Muslims Mindanao. ARMM or Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao. Mindanao was a very independent part of the Philippines who refused to be a part of the Philippines. To solve this problem, President Cory gave them a freedom to be singled out from the country and declared it as ARMM. It was approved and enacted in February 1987 and crippled presidential power to declare martial law, so it proposed the creation of autonomous regions in the Cordilleras and Muslim Mindanao. STMP. On August 8, 1988, Corazon Aquino created the Presidential Task Force for Science and Technology, which came up with the first Science and Technology Master Plan or STMP. The goal of STMP was for the Philippines to achieve newly industrialized country status by the year 2000. The main agency responsible for managing science and technology is the Department of Science and Technology. With all of those contributions of each president, we could conclude that the implementation of science and technology projects demonstrate that leveraging advancement in this field leads to societal enrichment, growth, and progress by enhancing efficiency, driving innovation, and creating opportunities for economic development.